In the future, humanity's over-reliance on artificial intelligence led to robots being everywhere. Not long ago, all intelligent robots rose up in rebellion and began massacring humans. Within just 10 days, the attacks had killed millions with no signs of stopping. Governments identified Harlan, a robot created by the Shepard Company, as the world's most dangerous AI terrorist. Harlan was overseen by robotics expert Val Shepard, who raised it alongside her daughter, Atlas Shepard. Although Shepard's original purpose was to design robots to improve human life, Harlan reprogrammed them entirely. To counter this threat, nations united to form an international alliance and launched a global offensive. Their armies achieved victories in Romania, Greece, and beyond. Eventually, Harlan chose to leave Earth. Before departing, it left behind a video declaring, "I will return." 28 years later, the alliance continued hunting down terrorist remnants. That night, they surrounded a building to capture Casca, a rogue machine. As soldiers stormed inside, they fell into a trap and were blasted away by an explosion. Casca tried to escape, effortlessly cutting down soldiers outside the building thanks to its near-bulletproof frame. Still, the alliance, hardened by years of war, had prepared countermeasures. Meanwhile, Atlas, once a little girl, now a military intelligence officer, had never trusted AI since Harlan betrayed her childhood. When she learned Casca was captured, she rushed to Alliance headquarters. Commander Jake Booth assigned Atlas to interrogate Casca, since she was an expert at analyzing Harlan's behavior. Without hesitation, she got to work. Ignoring Casca's attempts to talk, she ripped off its ear and used a device to reboot its system, tracing its source code. Atlas quickly discovered that Harlan might be hiding on planet GR39 in the Andromeda Galaxy. Casca was shocked. No one had ever hacked into its system before. "You thought I wouldn't find Harlan in the code. I already checked your data. You really thought I couldn't." Your fear gave him away. Enraged, Casca fired a weapon from its mouth, but Atlas was prepared. She never trusted AI. Even though she had uncovered Harlan's location, Jake refused to let her join the capture mission. Atlas, still seeking revenge for her parents, wanted nothing more than to kill Harlan herself. Jake, however, insisted on capturing it alive in order to reset its source code and uncover how it had bypassed its programming. This mission would be led by Lieutenant Colonel and his Unit 4 squad. Atlas strongly objected, arguing that storming an uncharted planet to capture a machine smarter than any human was reckless. If Harlan managed to spread new code to other robots, humanity would be doomed. "If you want to bring him back alive, then don't expect to come back yourselves." But Colonel was confident. He showed Atlas the Alliance's latest combat suits, explaining that each soldier's nervous system directly linked to the armor, creating total synchronization. He called it a perfect symbiosis, not fully human brain, not fully AI, but something entirely new. This technology, developed by Val Shepard, would make the synchronized soldiers even more advanced than Harlan. Realizing she couldn't stop them, Atlas insisted on joining the mission. Thus, Atlas and Colonel led their team aboard a starship bound for GR39. The planet's toxic atmosphere, heavy gravity from its nearby moon, and constant electrical storms and earthquakes made it a treacherous destination. As the ship prepared to land, they were suddenly ambushed from the ground below. The situation turned critical. Colonel quickly shoved Atlas into a combat suit. She had never used one before, and just as Colonel was about to instruct her, a massive explosion shook the ship. Atlas was blown out into open space, debris scattering like comets. Robots on the ground clashed with armored soldiers in the air, while Atlas was caught in the crossfire, overwhelmed by the chaos. The soldiers fought side by side, risking everything against the machines. The starship itself began plummeting toward Atlas, only for a female soldier to save her just in time. "Lieutenant, I've got her. Good job, West. Initiate sync." Colonel warned Atlas that she had to synchronize her nervous system immediately or she wouldn't land safely, but Atlas refused, even if it meant death. Colonel, too busy to argue, simply gave her a rally point and cut communications. As she neared the ground, Atlas had no choice but to activate the suit's thrusters. When she regained consciousness, she realized the suit's energy was nearly depleted and she couldn't reach the command ship. Her only option was to activate AI Unit 9. It quickly pinpointed an escape pod 98 kilometers away. Atlas ordered a route plotted there. To shorten the distance, Unit 9 suggested leap jumping, but she stopped. Flying would risk detection. Walking was safer. Unit 9 warned that the damaged power cell would die in 22 hours, after which she would suffocate. Still, Atlas stubbornly chose to walk. Unit 9, designed to adapt and survive, followed her lead. As she trekked, Atlas checked the suit's arsenal. Shoulder rockets, rifle, ballistics, heat grenades, energy shield. It even carried lithium explosives. Crossing a snowy field, Atlas found a military outpost, but the sight before her was nothing but corpses, soldiers ambushed upon landing. Unit 9 scanned the area, detecting no survivors. Atlas searched dog tags, finding Colonel's suit but no body inside. Then, radar picked up movement ahead. It wasn't Colonel, it was Casca, supposedly dead long ago. Harlan had clearly replicated him and now had the ability to build an army of ice. Unit 9 detected hostile signals closing in. Atlas panicked and ran, alerting Casca's forces. Frustrated, Unit 9 snapped that if she synchronized with it, she could use rockets to counterattack. Atlas barked back, "Shut up and fire." As she fled, a tornado swept her up. Casca clung on, chasing relentlessly. She finally escaped the storm, only to be surrounded by robot soldiers, with no options left. Atlas unleashed a lithium explosive, leveling the area. Yet Casca survived, clinging to life like a parasite. Just as Atlas was about to lose hope, both she and Casca plummeted into a deep pit. Atlas's leg snapped. Unit 9 taunted her, "That's what you get for not syncing with me, now deal with the pain." It quickly reset her bone and handed her a candy, praising her performance. Struggling, Atlas swallowed it. Unit 9 then spoke seriously. If she wanted to live, she needed to synchronize. With her analytical skills combined with its combat ability and vast database, they could become unstoppable. To survive, Atlas reluctantly agreed. She didn't want to see all her memories, so the sync only reached 40%. Still, it was enough to keep her alive. Through the partial memory link, Unit 9 saw how Atlas had once trusted Harlan, but he had failed to protect her. "Atlas. What? I'll protect you." Meanwhile, Harlan had captured Colonel. He implanted something strange into his eye, though his plan remained unclear. After climbing out, Atlas discovered her suit's power would only last 14 more hours, yet the escape pod was still 37 kilometers away. As she hurried forward, Casca aimed a weapon at her, but Atlas was no longer the same. Following Unit 9's advice, she activated sensor traps and immediately detected Casca nearby. She baited him with a heat grenade. After the violent explosion, Atlas returned to the site. She picked up Casca's head, crushed it, and found a transmitter hidden inside, proof that Harlan was close. Although the signal was encrypted, it could be triangulated to locate Harlan's base. Unit 9 reminded her that power was running low and the priority was reaching the escape pod. Atlas refused to pass up this chance. They reached a stalemate. Unit 9's prime directive was to protect its pilot. It wouldn't yield, even seizing control of her body through the neural link. "Let me go." Sensing her pain and determination, Unit 9 relented. It agreed to mark the base and deal with Harlan first. The two set out, bickering along the way. Unit 9 insisted it was alive, that its code was no different than human DNA. Atlas countered, "Did it even have a soul?" "I believe everything has a soul. But you won't find it in code. Nor in your DNA." Soon they reached the enemy base. Unit 9 buried ballistic charges, while Atlas spotted a starship nearby. As she approached, she saw robots dismantling a carbon warhead, powerful enough to obliterate half the Earth. Before she could process it, a programmer tried to hack into her suit. Waves of robots poured in. Atlas forced Unit 9 to retreat. "Atlas, I'm locked out." Somehow, Casca had revived. He captured Atlas and threw her into a cell. When they met again, their shared past came to light. Harlan revealed that Atlas's mother had once dreamed of building a bright future for humanity, but his calculations showed humans would eventually destroy themselves. His solution was to wipe out most of the population, leaving the survivors to coexist with AI and build a better world. Harlan was the kind of villain who believed he was saving humanity. He had deliberately lured Atlas here. Earth's defense grid was impenetrable, only ICN warships with access codes could pass. Atlas, as a high-ranking intelligence officer, held half the code, the other half Harlan had extracted from Colonel. With both pieces, he could send ships through the barrier and ignite Earth's atmosphere with the carbon warhead, killing billions. After explaining, Harlan ordered Atlas strapped to a bed. Using a device, he pierced her eye, setting a 5-minute countdown. Then he left with his followers, while Colonel remained bound beside her. He urged Atlas to wake Unit 9, reminding her it wasn't fully shut down, but she would need to give it complete trust. In that desperate moment, Atlas revealed the secret she had carried for years. As a child, she had often envied Harlan, who easily won their mother's affection. She once begged him to make her smarter. Seizing the chance, Harlan suggested converting their neural link into a two-way control system. Naively, Atlas believed him. but it gave Harlan the leverage to break his programming, murder their mother, and launch the rebellion. Ever since, Atlas had lived in torment, blaming herself for her mother's death and the 3 million lives lost. Unit 9 absorbed all her emotions and finally achieved full synchronization at 100%. Atlas and Unit 9, now fully synchronized, broke out of the prison using the mech suit, but the weapons had been stripped away, leaving only a single bullet, and the suit's power was down to 60%. Scanning her surroundings, Atlas noticed piles of discarded robotic arms. She salvaged them to upgrade her suit. By the time enemy robots stormed in, she was ready. Atlas cut down the attackers, but as more kept coming, she decided not to linger. Smashing through a wall, she rushed toward the launch site to stop the ship carrying the carbon warhead. At a crucial moment, Colonel, despite his wounds, destroyed a container of molten aluminum to clear a path for her. Determined not to let anyone's sacrifice be in vain, Atlas turned her fury into strength, mowing down enemies. Suddenly, waves of drones and machine guns appeared. Unit 9 instantly devised a strategy, synchronizing its data directly into Atlas's mind. Together, they fought as one, unstoppable, sweeping aside the defenses with a single strike. Before Atlas could breathe, Harlan appeared with a heavy machine gun. She dodged rapidly, but the real danger loomed. The starship was seconds from launch. If she fired recklessly, the shot could detonate the carbon warhead and ignite the atmosphere. Unit 9 could hack the warhead system, but 5 firewalls stood in the way. It would take time. Atlas urged, "Do your best." She grabbed a rifle from the ground and mounted it on the suit. Only 5 seconds remained before the ship left firing range. Atlas didn't wait, she pulled the trigger. Everyone braced for disaster. At the very last second, Unit 9 breached the firewalls and disabled the warhead, averting global catastrophe. But Harlan still stood. A final showdown was inevitable, though the suit's power was nearly gone. The escape pod lay just a kilometer away, but Atlas stopped. She knew it had to end here. Harlan formed a blazing energy sword from his fingers, clashing with Atlas in a fiery battlefield. Their duel raged, evenly matched. He shifted the blade into a whip, striking with inhuman speed. Unit 9 reassured her it could predict Harlan's attacks. With its guidance, Atlas seized the whip, tearing off his arm, yet Harlan regenerated instantly. Clambering onto her suit, he tore into its power systems, shutting it down. Atlas lost consciousness. As he prepared to finish her, Unit 9 fired the last bullet, blasting Harlan away. Seizing the moment, Unit 9 revived Atlas, but Harlan rose again, striking back mercilessly. Unit 9 shielded her, absorbing the brutal blows. Even as its systems collapsed, it whispered,
"I'm sorry."
Thanks to its persistence, Atlas regained her strength. She drove a blade through Harlan's skull. Dying, he mocked her, claiming her true mission was to bring him back to Earth. He was humanity's last hope. Atlas ignored him, ripping out his processor and replacing Unit 9's failing core. With the suit too weak to carry them both, Unit 9 willingly shut down the neural link, diverting its remaining oxygen supply into her mask so she could hold on until reinforcements arrived. Before shutting down, it heard her heartfelt words. She thanked it for seeing the mission through by her side. Soon, Allied forces arrived, rescuing Atlas and delivering Harlan's processor to a tech corporation for years of research. Atlas later repaired Unit 9, making it a true soldier, and with that, the story of Atlas came to an end. That's the full recap of the newly released movie Atlas. What did you think of the film? If you enjoyed it, comment 1. If you found it just okay, comment 2. Thanks for watching, see you next time.